Haha! Welcome, everyone. My name is Helena.
And I'm Kelly.
We are Speaker Insight, where we help speakers, authors, and coaches to build a portfolio business on your terms. And if you don't quite know what that means, it really is about supporting you as a speaker, author, or coach, as a change maker, to really make your difference in the world by helping you shape solid foundations in the business. And so today, I suspect that this is going to be one of those ones that it gets a lot of view and a lot of play, because we're talking about how to design your coaching packages today. And so this is one of the things that Kelly and I do a lot with a lot of people, because we don't want you to be slaves to your business. We want you to actually have the freedom of it. Hey, Leah, nice to see you. So we're just going to let everybody kind of come on in. For those of you that know the drill, we would love to know the buzz in your business. So let us know in the comments what's going on in your business that you're excited about, that you're proud of, that you're looking forward to, what's happening that kind of feels like a standout for you and might be a standout for others listening. Leia's saying she's looking forward to this. I'm pleased. Now, a lot of those conversations can then actually and actively continue in, and Kelly's just put the link in there, in the Connection Hub, which is the group that we have that's related to the Speaker Insight Facebook page here. Because actually, it's great to be with like-minded, like-valued people, and that's what we've got inside the Connection Hub. It is the place to have conversations, to ask daft, because there's no such thing, questions, to get the information that you need, and of course to get the opportunities that you so want, whether that's speaking, podcasting, or being a guest in some way. Hey, Kat, nice to see you. So I am as far as this goes, if you are watching this live, brilliant. You're saying hello as you are. Hashtag replay if you're not, because we like to know when this goes out. It also lets us know what we can deliver in terms of further trainings. If this is a very popular one, we can potentially kind of do more around this type of thing. So let us know that you're doing a hashtag replay, even if it's a year down the line, and that makes us happy. So
can we add an extra hashtag in today?
You can.
It's bloody hot.
It's so hot. It's so hot. So I've actually got the door open over here. So if you hear scaffolding and all sorts kind of happen, that's where that goes. And part of the buzz in our business is that we've both been away for, we've both had movements in all sorts of ways. Kelly, what have you been doing?
I've been on holiday. Yes, I've got no buzz in my business this week because I've done no business at all this week.
But that is the buzz in the business.
Yeah, I've been darting around the UK of lovely sites of Glastonbury and Bath and Avebury and celebrating my wedding anniversary. So I've had a lovely break, and Helena's been superbly minding the shop and doing the Facebook Lives and managing our membership group. So that's the best thing of having a business partner, right? Is that we can tag.
It's such a joyful thing. And of course, I, in the meanwhile, have been doing all of that whilst finally, packing, just moving home. Like, this will give you a small insight. There were 38 boxes of books. So I'm just letting you know that moving on one of the hottest days of the year with 38 boxes of books, I can honestly say I was so grateful that I outsourced the move, the actual physical moving, because I'm up 2 flights of stairs. I supplied much water to the poor chaps who were doing this. They were melted pools at the end of the day, but I'm in my new space, and that actually kind of works. And Kat's now going, no, stop talking about the weather.
And Sarah's lying down in the dark room. But Menica has got an online talk show, 2 weeks, and the dentist reaching out asking for articles and her course. See, that's awesome stuff, Menica. You're welcome to put the link of your chat show if you want to on here, your online course, so people can check that out. You must have been popular. I only had 25 boxes. Thanks for the anniversary wishes.
Right, it's all good. So let's do this thing, right? So we've witted for long enough. So this is actually
short, right, Helena?
It's so not going to be short. I mean, you're talking about 2 things. So the thing that Kelly and I love to do is to help people shape their businesses. And one of the best ways to do that is to shape the model of the business, the way in which you commercialize your expertise and actually put it into things. We don't want you as a coach to be doing one-to-one training. We just don't, there is nothing wrong with one-to-one sessions, but if you're doing time for money the whole time, that is just not a good thing for you or for the business, because there is you and there is the business, and you serve the business and the business serves you. And just offering one-to-one training really limits the way in which your message goes out in the world. So we don't want that for you. So here we go. You know, actually inside the Connection Hub, we have more coaches than we have speakers or authors. What we really kind of intend is for all of you to do a portfolio blending of all of those, but we're getting there on that. And because you were once your avatar as a coach, it's highly likely that once upon a time you were the person who had that problem, had those issues. You now know and are the perfectly qualified person to help them because of that. Certainly personal experience, but the chances are you've also then gained qualifications that really support you in that way. So it's a really common trap for you to start out, and they you know, they don't strategically set up the practice. You know, you just go ahead and you go, I can help with that. But it leaves you exhausted from constantly having to chase new prospects, from swapping the time for money because you've only got so much capacity, and for then not having enough time to get the clients because you don't have enough choice or ways for them to do it. If you've only got one way to do something, actually you're going to preclude several people as a result of that. So we're just going to go through some of the different ways that you can package your coaching, so that it gives you a lot more flexibility, but it also gives your customers choice. And that's really important, because they may well want you, but they may not be able to access you because you don't offer enough ways for you to actively do that. So this is a pens at the ready job for all of you. And even for those of you who are long in the tooth around, you know, you've been a coach for years, have a listen and think about, what else could I add, or what could I kind of you know, move around that actually frees me up to do a little bit more of what I want to do, because we're all shifting and changing. So here we go.
And one of the things that we talk about a lot, especially in our Changemaker Central membership, is actually creating a product range, right? So Helena alluded to the fact that we always talk about a portfolio style business, which is actually about speaking, writing and coaching. But even within those disciplines, we want you to have a range of products. And there's a reason for that. One is because we find that lots of people are in that trap of swapping time for money and have got capacity issues where they've hit full capacity, or the fact that they're actually only being a one-stop shop and giving people not that choice of how they interact, how much commitment they're putting into it, how much money is invested. So if you have a range of products that have different price points, different ways of engaging, and also different lengths of commitment, that gives your avatar a user journey and also a way to experience you without having an all or nothing scenario. So we're going to go through 6 or 7 different packages that we normally help coaches create in their portfolio style businesses, so that you can tick, have you already got some of these done? Yeah. And also go, actually, that would be a really good thing to create, to actually give my customers more choice, and also to give yourself more choice of where you deliver. Because if you're constantly having to do coaching where you're swapping time for money, then you're still going to hit that capacity issue. So if you've got higher range products where, yes, they do get your time, but maybe some digital offering or group offering where you're doing more of a one-to-many exchange, then this also increases your impact and your increase and your income and your capacity issues. So first one I'm going to talk about is not really got a name, but it's a product where people can sort of try before they really delve into a real coaching commitment with you. So a bit of a try before you buy. It's not a free product. It's not like the content stuff that we talk about and the lead generation funnels. It's still a product, but it's normally quite a low tier product. And when we talk about low tier, it's normally sub £100. Okay. Now the point of a try before you buy product is it does what it says on the tin. When someone's choosing a coach or a consultant, it's actually quite a personal thing that person needs to do. Not only do they need to know that you've got the qualifications, you're actually giving them the outcome that they want, but it's very much based on a personality style. So do they like your approach? Do they like the way that you deliver? Do they like maybe you're a no BS type of person, or a very systemized person, or a huggy person, or, that type of coach, right? They're going to choose you based on personality, but you've got to give them a way of experiencing that before they delve into the thousands and thousands of pounds coaching programs. So a couple of ways to think about how can I do this? You could have a 1 hour strategy call or discovery call, whatever you want to call it, where that person actually gets an hour's worth of your time. They maybe present a problem or a situation that they're currently in, and you discuss it for an hour strategically, where they're going to come out with more of a plan than actually have the problem solved, which is why I normally call them strategy sessions. So say, for example, I know a couple of the people that I work with have been running these around the COVID times, and their clients phone them up and go, okay, my business model needs to change because this income stream has been stopped, this marketing's been stopped. And they have an hour-long strategy call to actually reevaluate what can we do in this time, and they walk away with a plan. So again, that's £99 for those guys. That's the Tendo and Think Smart company. Big shout out to those guys that I work with. But that's what they do, right? So they're offering these strategy calls. What Helena and I do on a regular basis, not in COVID times, is run our Connect and Create days. So this is slightly different, right? Because we run these Connect and Create days, which I know some of you are watching. Kat, you've been to these, for example. I can't see who else is watching at the moment.
Menica's been, for sure.
Yeah. So we have a place that we hire. We have 16 people that come. It's a networking session in the morning where you actually get to pitch and connect and meet people. That's the connect bit of it. Then you've got the rest of the day to work on your project on a, time out, no dishwasher, no kids, no whatever else going on. You just get there to solidly work on a goal. But you also get a 20-minute coaching session one-to-one with Helena and myself. So you get to experience us and actually get some insight onto the project that you're actually working on. So it's a little flavour, a little taste for under 50 quid to come and have networking, some time out to work on your projects and to experience our coaching and consultancy. So I want you to think about, how can you give your prospects a flavour of what you're offering so that they can say, I really like the way that you explain that, or I really understand the wisdom, the insights that you've got from your experience that you can bring to me, just to give them a try before they buy scenario.
Yeah, and so we've got a couple of examples
Go for
that are actually in here.
Ooh. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm echoing tremendously back at myself. So I'm just going to play with that and see how that works.
You sound okay to me, hon.
Well, I'm pleased to hear that. I think I've got myself in semi-stereo. It's really quite fun. So a couple of people. So Daniel is saying this is perfect timing for him because he's literally just started his new coaching business. So he's created his group coaching program. We're coming onto that, and his one-to-one program. So it's perfect timing. So you might get some ideas for how this works. Kat and Menica both have got some examples that we would definitely qualify as one of these. So Kat's got a 45-minute insight call, 5 metrics, 1 challenge, 1 goal, which is great.
Cool.
And Menica does the habit challenge for £50, which is the perfect kind of, a perfect example of how that goes. And she also loves our Connect and Create days. She says they're great, which is really cool. In fact, both of them say that.
Yeah. So that's great examples. So some people might charge for a webinar, for example. Some people might charge for challenges like Menica's doing. But, whatever it is that gives them a chance, that you're not going to solve the problem, right?
For sure.
Or you might solve a small amount of it, but it gives them a step forward. You're going to move them forward in that experience.
For sure.
But it's more that whole thing of, I can see the potential of working with that coach, that consultant, and I really gel with their approach. That's the purpose of this type of product.
One of the things that happens inside the Connection Hub is, people will get will use the group as a way to get feedback on what might be required, what might be inside their avatars' heads. And the next kind of level up, well, not even level up, or a different type of product that you can actually do is when you have an understanding of the problems that people actively have, you can do a specific focus program, something that solves one problem, and it purely solves that one problem. And oh my word, your version and our version of what one problem is usually quite an interesting thing. We're talking
marketing 101 is not one problem.
That is not one problem. Truly, truly, truly. But when you know that there's a popular problem or topic area that your avatar is always asking for help on, then build a coaching package that purely focuses on overcoming that problem. So, if you're a health coach, that might be something like the detox program that then gets them used to your style, that gets them used to how you work, and then might take them into something else. If you're a marketing coach, the one thing that people need more than anything that creates the headache is that marketing plan program. Sometimes it's even the more sort of, people, when they think about this initially, and I'm gonna poo-poo it, straight away, I'm gonna say it, they think it's something really tactical. It's not necessarily tactical. It's still got a strategic element for it. So can you see how a detox program at the start of a health kind of regime would be a really good thing? There's a strategic nature to that. A marketing plan program.
Thing to run in January, right? When everyone's already eaten too much food, drunk too much.
That's it. That's exactly it. Sort of like and for sure, sort of you want to be thinking about how that works. So many of you know that Kelly and I each respectively, we work one day a week on this business, and a strategy day, and that's pretty much it. But in our other lives, we also run other companies. So in my other business, I know that clarity and direction for my avatar is a key area of need. They need to get clear, see the wood for the trees before they can actively decide what they're wanting. So the program that I've got, the specific focus program that I've got for that, is actually a vision board workshop and a workbook program that actively helps people see the wood for the trees and actively engages them in solving the what do I want question. And that then sets them up, of course, to work with me further too. So it's a deeper level commitment that actually comes as a result of solving that one program. Because, of course, once they know what they want, I can help you with the rest of it.
So that's what we would call a specific program focus. And that's when you've been in the industry, what you've been doing for a while, and you get those commonly asked questions of, this is a really hot topic that you always get asked for, then maybe having a coaching program just around that topic that, as Helena said, is strategic, solves that one problem. Oh, nice teapot.
I know. I'm reminded of somebody else who said that, but I've now got a new space for, like, in my nesting. I'm finding little spaces that I can actively do. How can I work on my terms in the best possible way in my little desk environment? So sorry for interrupting you with my teapot moment.
Sleepy dormouse is going to come out of it or something. But that program, what would normally do is they get a result, but it will probably lead on to ongoing work with you, because once they detox, they might need to know how to maintain their weight or their energy levels or whatever it might be. So that's the first step of a program, which is when we talk about frameworks, but that's not for today's session.
Oh, no.
Okay. So we've got
breathe, cat, breathe.
A try before you buy, a specific type of focused program. Now, one of the most important and probably the most popular reasons someone has a coach is to hold them accountable to hit goals, right? That's one of the main reasons people say, I think it's 97% increase of people meet their goals when they have an accountability and a coach or a mentor holding their hand throughout that process. So do you have an accountability specific program, right? This can come after you've done an exploratory session with somebody, or you might have done a bit of coaching and they understand what they need to do and you put the plan in place. And now it's just about that momentum of actually making sure that they're hitting their weekly goals, their 90-day program, whatever it might be. So, or is it just a quite a simple coach accountability program? What they normally consist of is some form of discovery call at the beginning, or a coaching session where you're actually understanding what their goal is, exploring their emotional commitment to that, exploring the blocks, the limiting beliefs, the potential obstacles that could come up when they're actually working towards that goal. and putting a plan in place to say, okay, maybe we're going to reverse engineer what we're going to do for you to actually hit this on a weekly basis, and we'll put it in place for the next 90 days, let's say. Now, the accountability program might just then consist after that of a weekly telephone call with potentially some sort of methodology of them tracking their progress and making sure that they're actually hitting their goals, and maybe even evaluating how they're feeling, so that there's something to review and give feedback on that weekly basis.
For sure.
An exploratory call, weekly calls, some form of recording their progress, and then some milestones at the end to actually, see if they hit it, and then review and feedback. And you might have some touch points depending on how long the program is. But that's something which I would really consider you to look at as having as a separate program. It's a really lovely follow-on one from when you've actually done some deep work with people. Because it's one of the reasons after the retreat, we ensure that all of our retreat people come into our membership program, because they get 2 months worth of actually handholding to make sure all the stuff they did at the retreat is being implemented, right? That's like our accountability program for them.
And it is really interesting. So I have a version of this, wearing my other hat. I have a version of this, which interestingly, every time somebody does, and we'll talk about this in a moment, every time somebody does a any program, so like us with the retreat or a VIP day in some way, there is an active, because as a coach, and Kelly and I feel very strongly about this, your job is not to leave them wanting. Your job is to complete their ability to implement what you've just taught them. And 9 times out of 10, what you take for granted and assume that is easy for people is exactly the reason that they come to you in the first place. And actually them implementing that still shows up. And so it's vital that you have something that allows them to know that somebody understands where they're at because you ran the other program, that then allows them to actually still go, I'm still trying to implement this bit. So, and a lot of people leave money on the table, and I'm going to put it like that, because they then send them off to an accountability coach somewhere else. And you go, why would you do that? This is a person who's bought into your way of thinking, your way of being. They love you. It's money right there. You don't have to go market for somebody else. You must have something like this.
Yeah.
Kat's saying implementation is my middle name. And are you going to read out Daniel's?
Yeah. Daniel said, I'm a self-love coach. After being a PT for 7 years, I integrate physical health, mental health, relational health, and boundaries. I have a 28-day female-only group coaching program I've just created based on that. My one-to-one program is 12 weeks, and I love the idea of a self-love hour as a strategy. Thank you. That's an awesome thing. I love that. That's brilliant to get them started, Daniel.
For sure.
Kat's asking what will be the price point of an accountability program. So on that point, Kat, basically you need to work out your time, right? Mm-hmm. So again, it needs to be, if you're going to be doing probably an accountability call a week, is probably going to be between half an hour and an hour per call for a weekly basis. So it depends. It might be a 90-day program, a 30-day program, but you need to think, how long is that first exploration call going to be? How many hours am I going to be coaching on the weekly basis? And is there going to be some sort of review feedback of their weekly progress and a summary call? So it's just looking at your time. And once you've got that time, then you can put that a price on it. But again, Kat, you're going to know this more because you're one of our members, is where does it fit in your product funnel from a price point of view as well? Is it something that's a product within itself? Is it a follow-up sale from another program, for example? And that's when you're going to see, potentially, I'm looking at Menika's point here. She's got a 12-week group online program with weekly lives, Q&A, and accountability. Now, that is a beautiful program. Yeah. So what I would say is your accountability program going to be separate, or are you going to involve it within a big, expensive program? Make, and the way to do that is to say, look, the reason why people don't complete or have success on my digital program, my whatever course, is because they fall down on the implementation. They don't have it as their middle name like you. So the way to actually achieve that is by having accountability. And so this is the bit that that makes the difference. And that's why you're involving it in the group program. Okay. So just make sure. She's sitting there nodding and she realizes we can't see her. Sitting there nodding.
I'm so glad you read that out whilst I was laughing, because of course I'm sat here laughing because I'm reading. Brilliant.
Awesome. Okay, yeah. So accountability programs is one that I would really encourage everybody to think of, whether it's a separate one or whether you're encompassing it within your flagship program.
How do you would be remiss as a coach if you did not build in accountability in some way, shape or form, whether that is a part of or a paid for service. It absolutely kind of works. Now, one thing I'll add to that, and then I'll go on to digital or group programs. I actively have if you have worked with me before, i.e. we are used to each other and I know your history, so I know your thing, that I have an ad hoc hour that people who are past clients can actively take up. I have at least 5 people who regularly, every couple of months, just go, can I have an hour? And it's a brilliant, wonderful, amazing thing, because I don't have to do any learning new stuff for them. I simply have to catch myself up on, where are you at right now? And they use that weirdly as a kind of accountability for the next thing that they're doing, or a sense check on something. You knew we were going to go off on one.
I know, I'm sweating here. And that is a perfect example. We did a Facebook Live, I think it was 2 weeks ago, around how do you treat your clients, ABCD clients, differently. What Helena's just demonstrated there is a lovely example of how she treats her A clients differently, because they get access to this additional drop-in service. But it's another way where she doesn't need to relearn them all. Okay.
I'm now falling in love with Daniel.
Your network event, please. Yes, Daniel, I put the link to the Connect and Create Day further up in the comments, but I will put it in again here. This is the first time we've seen us properly. Lovely.
I'm completely loving that. Yeah. So welcome to the Tweedledum Tweedledee. Right. Let me tell you about Kat's actually saying it is an accountability as part of other things, but I like the idea of a separate program. And so that becomes an upsell for you, Kat, for those that you might still do by application, because you may not want everyone who was on that program sort of for you. But again, work out, are they an ABCD, and what are you willing to do, and what's your capacity? But we shall talk more about that inside our membership, because you are one of those members. So we'll work with that. Daniel, loving you right back. So let's talk about, so we talked about the accountability piece. Now let's talk about something that we a couple of people have hinted at already, which is this group coaching, or a digital group coaching, because this is where you turn, rather than doing time for money one-to-one, changing the world one person at a time is a great thing. But if you can change the world one to many, then that's really, really cool, because you can do it an awful lot better. Wow, that's a huge amount of stuff that just happened on the screen. Right. So with a group program, so we actually have, it's where people vicariously, if you think about it, if you've ever sat in a room learning with another group of people, somebody asks a question, you go, oh my God, that's such a smart question to ask. And my brain doesn't work like that. So I'm so glad you asked that, because now I've learned more. There's this vicarious learning that happens from other people's experiences, from other people's questions. And for some people, it's just they prefer learning without the intense focus on them the whole time. They actually, I prefer a group program than a one-to-one, because actually I'm a bit of a reflector, and I need to just sit with things and go, how does that actually work? I like the people element as well. Kelly would hide away at home the whole time. Which is how it works.
I'm one of those people that when they go, okay, so let's spend half an hour sharing on what we learn, I'm like, God, can we not just get into the thing?
Can we skip to the thing? It's like, I just want to get the thing. So, actually I hope you can hear that depending on, your avatar comes in many shapes and sizes in terms of the learning styles that they have. So you having a broader range available for them, which includes a group program of some kind, is actually serving them, because other people may well choose that. So, but more importantly, it frees up your time. It lets you make a greater impact and income with the same amount of time, but because you've got more people paying more money, you actively are making a better living and providing a great service for them. So if you think about that, so inside of our Changemaker Central, which we've been talking about, inside our membership, we actually do a whole deep dive training on how to run group coaching, because there is an art to it, and it isn't just transferring what you do one-to-one with someone and then making it into a group program. You actively do need to put some things in that really do help people make the most of it, whoever they are, because you are having to manage a group of people, and that may actually be the first time that you're doing that. So the thing about it is you can actively also, back to that thing I was saying about specific focus programs, you can totally free up your time by turning those specific focus things into online courses, into creating online courses around the hot topics or the big problems that people actively have that you could solve for them, that they could do at home on their own, self-paced learning, doing exactly that. Like at the start of COVID, we completely and utterly changed our plan, didn't we, Kelly?
I'm laughing for two reasons. I've got two mating pigeons making quite a bit of noise, doing their thing.
we can't hear them. It's okay.
Good. The second thing, I'm loving that hi Michelle, we've seen you for ages. So she's changed her name. I think, Social Sales is what it was called, to the Online Academy, and that's so apt for the way things are going. So that's brilliant. Do we have any lives on pricing strategy around online courses? We're testing a lot of variables at the moment. We do a whole section about pricing in our How to Create Online Courses course.
Yes.
PM, we'll have a chat, because I know, we'll chat. And we do have a Facebook Live around
pricing.
No, not around pricing.
No. That's in Changemaker.
I'll PM you.
Yeah.
Yes, but we did completely change our strategy in COVID because we had to, right? We were listening to you guys. Everyone's going, oh my God, this is where Zoom took over the world.
How do I pivot?
So we did lots of training to help you go digital, and we created our online course, How to Create Online Courses, in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
So distantly, right? Doing it from 2 houses, just to make sure that you guys had the ability to do this too and create digital-based programs if you were a coach. So I've put the link in there as well. Sorry.
I know, you've just seen Sarah's, haven't you?
It must be mating pigeon day today, Sarah.
Well,
so we did that. So I put the link in there to our Thinkific collections page at the top, where we've got how to create online courses and how to understand your purpose. I don't know what you're doing. That's the way I've gone crazy today. We all got heat stroke.
No, it is a really massive wasp. So I'm just sat here kind of going, okay, you just keep talking. Me and the wasp are just going to have a little moment.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. I'll have
what I was just going to say was, there is an example here, all joking aside, it's absolutely amazing to us. We made our course in 2.5 weeks. One person who actually bought it went on to make her own. Like she got about 2/3 of the way through our course and went, I can do this, made her course and absolutely nailed that one. I don't know why I've been putting this off for 18 months or so. I've been telling her for a long time she's needed this. Go do this, and she's now absolutely, because she took that experience and is now gone, right, I'm actually going to do the course that I've been wanting to do for so long, now that I know and understand the process. And she did a launch, £7 for 12 hours, between 7 and 7 on Friday. And she has now sold 100 to count yesterday, I think 163 courses. So this is to say to you, you may well think that your coaching isn't appropriate to kind of transfer in this way. It is wholly and absolutely that, because Judith resisted me every step of the way for quite some time. She won't mind me saying that. And now, as soon as you open the door to it, she now has global reach. And that's the thing that most of you as change makers actually want. Yes, the money's nice, but you actually want to be able to get your stuff into people's hands. This is the way to do it.
Maya brought one. Love it. I'm loving Jack as well. She's calling it Wild Coaching Day because everyone seems to have mating pigeons all over. Right, I need to get on.
Keep going, because otherwise we will be here forever.
So we've done try before you buy products. We've done a specific focus or a specific topic, leave the wasp alone. We've done accountability programs. We've done digital and group programs. One of my favorite is the next, and it's the 90-day program, right?
Yeah.
90-day is a perfect coaching time period for people to actually learn, create, and embed new habits. It's also great when people actually plan their finance and their marketing year by quarters. And it's also great because it gives you enough time as a coach, if you're working intensely with them, to make massive transformations. So it's a really nice program to actually put as a specific ones. With my B2B clients, a lot of my clients who work in corporates run 90-day programs in there, and they're charging between 40 to 60 grand for these.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're like, what would normally happen with a 90-day program is you would obviously have these types of initial goal setting, exploration. In corporate land, it's normally done with some form of assessment, first of all, to understand what the problem is, what the need is, and then design a bespoke 90-day program for that person. If you're working B2C to your individual customers, then would be some sort of exploration. It could be done in a group and it could be done individually, around what the needs are of that person or that individual, or the group if you're doing it group wise. Then what you would want to do is to have regular coaching / accountability calls or meetings with those people. I would say weekly is what is needed. You might get away with bi-weekly, but I wouldn't go any less than that. Weekly is really intense because this is where you're going to get the transformation, the accountability, and this is the hand holding through the process.
Yeah.
What normally happens is those coaching and accountability calls are delve deeper onto something that they've done in their own time, whether they have access to digital learning, a digital course, a workbook, webinars, training, something that they're learning from in their own time, digesting, implementing, and then coming to you with that weekly call to go, I didn't get this bit, or can you help me with this? I'm getting stuck with that. So you're actually hand holding them through the process. So I think, Menaka, you were explaining a 12-week program earlier, and I think this works really well for what you're offering.
Yeah.
You can also involve a deep dive teach on a monthly basis. So you might have 3 topics that are going to really help them with their end goal. You've got to ensure with a 90-day program, forgot to say this, that you know what the outcome is for the 90-day program.
Oh, for sure.
First, engineer it back, right? So that outcome might be a group outcome or the individual focus. And so therefore, when you understand what that outcome is, you can say, these are the 3 really deep, juicy themes or topics that I'm going to run an hour-long webinar with at the end of every month to really give you that information. And then you are going to have some way for them to record their results, to get feedback on some of their work, to show their progress to themselves as well as others. So you might be doing an assessment that they take on a monthly basis or at the beginning, at the end. Also really great for your own testimonials and your own results because you're measuring everything and you can see the progress made. And you want to have a review session, whether that's just the beginning and the end, or you might have a review session every month or course or half the way through. It's your time to depend on what that is. But these components make up that real intense, bespoke, tailored. You can't hide from doing the work and getting the results because there is no excuses. You've got the stuff to revisit from an information point of view on your own time and in your own terms. You've got the coaches calls, which is the things that actually you'll probably cram everything the night before because you've got your coaching call the next day. And so you make sure you get it done. And you've also got a way of measuring to go, this is where I am, this is where I want to be. And oh my God, I am actually slowly moving forward to where I want to be. And that sort of motivation, that momentum, that, encouragement that I'm doing this and I've paid, 90-day programs, whether they're B2C or B2B, aren't cheap. Because
they aren't.
of the amount of hand-holding that goes in there, right? The amount of bespokeness that goes in there because it's tailored. So I really want you to think about a 90-day program as one of the ones as a flagship program for you to get your results.
And so here's the thing. A 90-day program could be a one-to-one level, or it could be a group program. So just bear in mind that you can actively do one or either. So some of that is going to come down to your style. Some of that is going to come down to your needs and how do you actually work that. So I'm just going to say that in there. They are definitely not, they are definitely higher end because you are investing yourself in them. And what I will say is this is, you want to be in a position where you make these slightly exclusive in an application form style thing, because you want to know that these are the people who are committed to doing the work, because otherwise it'll be really hard going for you. So I'm just going to put that caveat in.
And we did a Facebook Live a month ago around contracts.
Oh yeah.
All of these that we're talking around need contracts, but
for sure.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Because actually, they're paying for a result, but they're responsible for the result, and you're the person facilitating the result. And that's the balance that it needs to be. So you are not delivering the result, but you are delivering the passion, the motivation, and the oomph for them to get the result, because they're going to come up against blocks and all sorts of things. So speaking of that,
come on, let's go.
We can do this. So I'm going to go fast on this one. The VIP intensive session, right? So this is an actual one-to-one. This is working intensely with you for one day on what they want to achieve. Now, you might have that branded around, like Daniel has, around the self-love, around, health, around whatever it is. But this session is expensive because this is you opening up your toolkit for the day with this person. It's completely bespoke to them. They get your undivided attention. They get your insights. They get your support. They get all that you have and more, dare I say it. It's like you can expect to be wrung out by them, and they can expect to be a little bit frazzled by the end of it, to be honest. Like Kelly and I actually run these, and frazzled is probably the right word. We run these. Yeah, exactly. So we will usually take one person through. We help them create their framework, their IP, the whole of their business structure. So, what level of these things that we're telling you about right now, we literally put that into a structure for them. We develop their marketing messages with them. And they really are, at the end of it, kind of a little bit like, whoa, my life looks really different right now. But we create on top of that, because there's work for us to do before and after on these. And that's the bit I want to put in there, that, because we give them a detailed report right at the end of it around, what they're actually going to do. We offer them a follow-up call after the session so that when they've landed, they go, right, about this bit, where do I go? Because it takes effort, it takes commitment, and it's really fun for both parties, because it's a singular focus and it's all about them. It's literally them. We say put you at the heart of your business. You at the heart of the VIP intensive is basically what they get. They get the best of you.
And they get a 90-day plan at the end of it as well. So they
for sure. And for us, yeah.
So we do the accountability on that one too. But the difference between that is the VIP for you guys is similar to us, because what it will offer is what I call it is like an accelerator. Mm-hmm. It's a fast track and it's bespoke. So all the information that we cover in what Helene has just said is covered in the 90-day program in our membership site, where you go and you work through that yourself, but it takes you 90 days. We have some people go, I don't want to wait 90 days for this stuff. Can you just do it for me in a day and give me the plan, and I'll go back and revisit that and build on it, but I need something right now. And so that's really what people pay top dollar for, because they get the bespokeness, but they also get it quickly. So if you want somebody that's really eager and to do something quickly, and they don't want to do an online program because that's not their style and that's not their learning style, they want that handheld experience, then they pay for it.
And the alternative to this, because there are some personal coaches, sort of out there as well, a lot of the time the VIP intensive sessions are usually, so Daniel, I can imagine that, if somebody really has a big block around their health or around taking care of themselves, doing self-love, for some people, they call these breakthrough sessions as well, where you really are kind of doing the limiting beliefs kind of busting in some way. So your VIP intensive session will be an accumulation of your experience and your expertise framed into how you work it. Ours, by its very nature, are obviously structure and this way led, but some other people's may well be much more personally led. So I'm just going to put that caveat in there.
Next one.
Here we go.
Mastermind. Right. So give me a shout out in the comments if you run a mastermind or if you're part of a mastermind.
Yeah.
They were for us supposed to be launching this year, but we didn't because of COVID. We don't know if we'll launch it in Q4, but they have been on our agenda for a long time. Yeah. And so they're a different form of coaching in our opinion, right? Because actually masterminds, you do a lot more facilitation than coaching, but there is obviously a reason why they join your mastermind, because you have a specific expertise in the field and you will obviously do some coaching in there. But if you're not familiar with what a mastermind is, then I highly encourage you to basically go and really Think and Grow Rich. There's a whole chapter dedicated in there, and there it explains how to run them, what the purpose of them are. And they can be run in different ways, but traditionally they're around 12 members. You meet monthly for a year, so it's a year-long commitment, and you'll take a topic a month. You'll all bring your insights, problems, discuss it as a group, learn vicariously through each other with you facilitating that. You might have guest experts coming in to speak as well, but it's more this group becomes a real strong cohort. And it's like having another board of directors on your company looking at it from another industry's point of view, another experience point of view. So that's why they call it masterminding, because you are bringing like-minded people together to focus on a topic and look at it and discuss it and solve that problem or be creative around something. And they're lovely to be part of if you find the right group, okay? But again, the commitment level for your customer is high because they normally would adhere to either a 6-month or a 12-month program. So it's, a long commitment. And also because there's a lot of orchestration that goes on to make sure you don't have people of similar industries, or then it's a non-compete clause normally. So there's a lot of organization that goes on, and you're responsible for making sure that those people are getting what they need from the sessions, as well as not just being a coach to everybody else. So it's a lot of orchestration that goes into mastermindings. But that's one that I would, if you haven't read that, go and read Think and Grow Rich.
For sure. And it's definitely for the committed. So when you've got, it may well be that you've been coaching for a few years and it gets to the stage where, because of the expertise and the reputation that you have, people will want you to run a mastermind because of the access to you and your brain, as well as the access of the people who are attracted to you, who will be like-minded. So it's almost like you're shortcutting them through to the group of people that they actively love kind of being around and will want to grow alongside with. So nearly final one, retreats, where we're on my favorite thing, sort of it's another spin, if you like, on the group coaching, but retreats, again, back to this specific focus and a specific outcome like the 90-day program. It tends to be centered around a thing that people get, but it's intensive, and it's, if it's run well, it's usually a small amount of attendees rather than a larger group of people. By its very nature, they are retreating away from the normal day-to-day. Bless you, Daniel. He's saying, this is so valuable. I now have 2 more strings to add. My dream is to run a yearly retreat, and this really has been my subtle invitation. There we go. So there it is, right? But this, for us, this is about giving people one-to-one attention, opening up their world, deepening their experience of the thing that you are showing them how to do, and allowing them that experience. So, we run our Speaker Insight Retreat in a beautiful location with beautiful food. Oh my God, I actually am missing the food, because it's how it goes. And it's 3 days and it's all inclusive. We take care of everything. And that's one of the things about a retreat is you give them no excuses for not working on the thing that you are there, that you've promised that you'll deliver for them. And, we only do it for 6 people so that we can intensively design their businesses, put together their product range, make their marketing plan work for them, develop their IP, and they're just accessing our brains pretty much, dare I say it, well, I'm not going to say 24/7 because we do get sleep. We insist on sleep. Part of retreat, and oh, my big bugbear about this one. Just the one. Like, a retreat is actually where you leave a little bit of space so that they can get it, as well as, as well as actively kind of have a whole bunch of stuff happen. So it really is about working without distractions. And some people, again, love that whole go in intensive and then I can go and do it. But usually there's an accountability program that sits in there as well.
Bless Michelle. She says our retreats are fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
And also going back to your question before, Michelle, about masterminds are usually top dollar. What's your view on price points? Yeah, 100%, right? So most people, I would say, is normally masterminds normally for the average coach are normally between £500 and £1,000 a month, sometimes more. It depends what you're getting, right? The reason is because masterminds you are accessing the minds of people that have invested thousands of pounds in their own businesses before. They are bringing that knowledge to the table. So you are literally, it's not, I was going to be really derogative then. It's not people that are on their early stage of their journey coming to sap all the energy from everybody that's spent thousands of pounds. You are equal. And that's why I said a lot of the time should go in the orchestration for the facilitator to make sure that you are equal peers, bringing the right amount of value to it. But the other thing with masterminds is that those people will traditionally get access to your little black book. Yeah. So your experts, your people. And that's when we designed our mastermind. You actually get, when it does launch, your website built by our website designer, your photos done by our photograph people. So you actually, everything that we tell you to do, your funnel's built by our funnel generators. So we teach, you learn, and then you actually get the end product created. So you walk away with a complete portfolio business at the end of the year. But that's paid for, right? So ours is top dollar.
Yeah, but for sure. For sure. You go.
So, okay. So the last one we've got. So we've done. Let me just highlight. We've done try before you buy product. We've done the specific coaching product focus ones. We've done accountability programs. We've done digital and group coaching. We've done 90-day programs. We've done VIP intensive sessions. We've done masterminds. We've just done retreats. And the last one, you can see I'm getting like sunshine on me now.
I know, right? It's coming for me.
It's about coaching or consultancy retainers, right? I love these, right? So I've got a few of these myself. And these are when you've worked with clients potentially in any of all these other packages that we've spoken about. And they've gone, I just want you in my business, right? I just don't want you to leave. How can we sort something out where you are a constant? And this is where, for example, you can say, well, if you want one, if they're a value fit and like-valued and like-minded and you love working with them, then they've got to be your A clients. Then you can say, well, I can become a retainer person for you where you get me on a monthly basis and you commit to that for a year or 6 months, potentially massively contract driven. And what would normally happen is that I would discount my day rate down to 1,800, down to 1,250. So they get that discounted day rate for me because I know that they're going to sign. I've got their work for at least the next year consistently. So it's like a giving back for them. They get a payoff and I don't have to think about forecasting and cash flow and prospecting because they're in my client for a year. What normally happens is that you will have to drive that. So you'd need to be that aerial view person. For these clients that I'm coming in with, I'm coming in as normally like a bit of a marketing director person if they haven't got someone standing in. And I'm actually forecasting, predicting and planning strategically their marketing for them each quarter. What should you be focusing on? Reverse engineering, consulting. I don't do any implementation. I'm a strategic consultant, right? And they have their team that do the work that then we plan out. You might decide that actually you might want to do this, and if it's in a corporate setting, you might become an NED, a non-executive director in their business, where actually you might get B-class shares you're shown on their books because actually having your expertise on in their business is actually really good for if they're going for investment, for example, to show that they've got the skill set. You might even sit on their board So you might be a board director for them to actually consult with the people that are making the decisions, because they have that gap of your skill set in their business. And it's actually better than paying a freelancer, having a PAYE member, actually having a freelancer on board. So think about those clients that never want to let go of you, rather than actually just having them every month. Just say, look, we've worked together for this long. Why don't I give you this option to go on a retainer, sign a contract, get me cheaper? And then what we're trying to teach you here is to not be this feast and famine that coaches go through.
For sure.
Prospect and they get clients, and then they're really busy delivering, and then they forget to prospect, and then those clients fall off, right? We want you to make sure that you can forecast how many sessions you're running, how much income's coming in. We don't want you running these one-off coaching sessions where people can just book one session. You won't make the impact. They won't have the consistency. You won't be able to juggle when they book, when they're not booking. You want packages, right? And we just a whole range of different types of packages. Packages are much easier to sell, much easier for you to manage, and much easier for you to forecast your cash flow. Okay.
For sure.
So I know we've been in 55 minutes.
I know. Kelly's actually outrunning the sun now. So our whole thing for you is you can make it easy for yourself to get your clients through doing packages, but you can also make it, I said right at the very beginning, we are all about helping people put the solid foundations in their business and have them be commercially viable, to not be exhausted, to be fully booked, but also to not be overwhelmed by the next things that they do. So we help people kind of quarterly plan. And part of that quarterly planning is actually going, just how many of these packages and what range of these packages am I actually going to be putting out there? Where's my focus going to be? It is going to clear your head tremendously to be able to know that you have something available every step of the user journey for your avatar. It just will make your life so much easier. So we would love to know how you're putting this in. So, for those of you who are watching live, or for those of you who come back in and let us know what you've implemented, because we do like to see the results of that. And we're getting a lot of love, Con.
Oh, no, it's good to see. So if it's revealed some gaps for Kat, for example, then that's great. And then let's work on those gaps. Kat,
we want to know about that inside the membership.
Right? Then that could be our next quarterly focus, because we've got a quarterly focus coming up at the end of this month. I think it is the beginning of next
September.
So yeah, all great. Whether you're watching on the replay, if you're not in the Connection Hub, come and join us. That's where the conversations happen. And let us know if we can help you anymore. If you want us to dive into any of these subjects today, then let us know, and we can do a more in-depth live on one of them.
For sure.
I'm going to
take care. Yes, I think that's really, really good. You are so welcome, Tally. So lovely to see your name, darling. Take care.
See you guys.
Bye.